So welcome guys. In today's Mindset Talk, we have a special guest today, Tommy Angelo, the man, the myth, the legend. It would took a long time to describe him. I think the easiest way going to be actually to read all the articles that we posted pretty much everywhere. Welcome, Tommy. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Great to be here. Thanks.
Sweet. Okay, guys. So as usual, you get the chat. You can ask all the questions related to the mindset area that you want to ask, basically. And yeah, that's it. Let's start off with reading out loud the very first one from Beldarion. So Beldarion is a coach in our team. And yeah, that's his first question. Hello, Tommy Angelo. An honor to have you here. First one. Could you play us something on your banjo to get us into the right mood for this Mindset Talks? Okay.
Good. I'm assuming that he's asking this because he's seen some of my Run It Once videos, and there's banjo going on there. Also, it's really funny that you've asked about this because this question's on here. I'm going to actually use the banjo in some of these answers.
Okay.
Not playing it. You'll see what I mean. Let's see. We'll happy to.
Whoa. Okay. Okay. That was great. That was great. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was not expecting that you're gonna pull out that banjo. I thought that you're gonna go with like some kind of a funny, dodgy answer, like okay.
Really? Oh no, actually, that is this. Where I'm sitting right now is my desk, which is basically my dining room table. And that right there is where my banjo lives.
That's sick.
Too far. It didn't take too much effort.
Okay. Second one is, did you ever had that feeling you have? Oh, okay. This is a serious question. Did you ever had that? Yeah, actual question. Did you ever had the feeling you have lost your love to the game, or some longer period you really didn't have the desire to play? If yes, how did you overcome that?
The answer is yes, many, many times. And how I overcame it was not in a conscious manner, just by natural ebb and flow of life. The love would come back eventually. But I want to just give a little backstory on that so you guys know where I'm coming from. I'm 58 years old. I started grinding in 1990 when I was 32 at that time, but I'd already been playing recreationally with my buddies and everything for like 15 years. So I got really serious in 87 about poker when I read Hold'em for Advanced Players by Skalansky and Malmuth. That's when I started adopting the professional mindset. And then in 1990, I started grinding for a living. But at that time, there was zero emphasis on mental stuff. I mean, none. There were barely any poker books that were really good coming out at all. And we were all on our own. We mean anyone trying to make a living at it or trying to get good at it. We're totally on our own on this mindset stuff. So the whole idea of how did you overcome that? In the modern world of looking at poker and the mindset, that's kind of a normal question. It's like, okay, here's a mental problem. What do you do about it? Back then, we didn't even think in terms of mental problems. You know what I mean? It just wasn't even what we thought about. It was just basically pain and more pain and occasional periods of run good and not pain. And that was it, back and forth. So during the really bad runs, I lost the love of the game. I lost complete confidence, total depression, despondency, whatever. Now, that's in terms of emotional swings. In terms of love of the game of poker, I don't think I've ever lost that. I mean, even during the depressed times when I didn't want to play or felt I could never win, I always felt that poker was the greatest thing that humans ever came up with, and I still kind of feel that way. So anyway, you're going to hear more about my story as we go, but when things turned around for me in 2003, after 13 years of grinding when I started meditating, met my current wife, and kind of, I went from being a complete degen to a clean lifestyle, normal, healthy lifestyle. And, I know I'm a lot older than you guys, and so that's kind of a natural progression when people get up in their, 40, 50 to like turning around a little bit. But what happened with me when it comes to the poker pain is because I've been through so much of it with no awareness whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
But when I finally started adapting a little bit of awareness about what was really going on in there, it was kind of an explosion because
Mm-hmm.
I'd done so much learning the hard way. And so now, when it comes to back to this question, the love of the game, when I play now, I basically play 3 or 4 weeks a year. That's all I do. I go to Vegas and I play for 5 days. I don't play locally grinding anymore. I'm basically writing all the time as my primary thing.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, maintaining the love of the game while I'm playing is kind of one of my objectives. So I'm down there playing, and let's say I'm playing for 4 or 5 hours. I'm getting no hands. I'm losing every pot or whatever. It's really dry and dull and boring, or what used to be boring. This is where I'm like, I actually remind myself how awesome it is to be playing poker at that moment. This is my mental tricks that I use all the time.
The appreciation, right?
Exactly. One of the ways I put it is the appreciation. It's like I have several little, mantra kind of things I tell myself, but one of them has to do with gratitude. And if I'm doing something really good, like eating a really great meal or taking a nice warm shower, sometimes I'll tell myself, on behalf of the people that don't get to experience this, I'm going to appreciate it extra. I'm going to really appreciate this. And I think of that with poker. Like I was in Vegas just 2 weeks ago. It was a Tuesday afternoon. I'm sitting around playing with it was actually like 11 in the morning. I get in this game, PLO game, 4 old guys. And I sit down, and I'm an old guy now, and I said, so you guys been here all night? Which was hilarious because I knew they all just got there, right? and so here we are playing it, and this one guy gets in the game, and he's kind of complaining and moaning a little bit. And I'm thinking, here we are, it's Tuesday afternoon, right? We're playing poker.
Yeah.
How bad can it be?
Yeah.
So I do maintain a strong love of the game.
Uh-huh. Sure. I love that answer. And actually, you brought an interesting topic. You just slightly touched it, but you mentioned that back in the day, people were not actually aware of all the mindset problems. It was just a pain. That's pretty much a quote. And don't you think that everyone actually in our poker environment tend to kind of look for the mindset problems just a little bit too often? And this is like kind of excuse for being maybe lazy even from time to time. Like, oh no, I have a mindset problem. I don't know. I can't focus. It's just like excuse for laziness.
Excuse for laziness in terms of not improving the betting skill or betting the strategy. You mean?
Mm-hmm.
Lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That could very well be. That could very well be. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Because it is a tendency for people in general to pass the blame to something else. That's just a natural defense mechanism or whatever, rather than saying, okay, it's my fault. So that could very well happen, to just say, yeah, I've got a mental problem, and that's my problem.
This is like super interesting, like because everyone started talking about mindset more and more in like last few years, right? It was super undiscovered area when it comes to poker, and during last few years, we can get like articles, professionals talking about it, just all over the place if someone is really into that and want to look for it, and people might kind of start overthinking really simple things, and do you think that, like, you're a mental coach, obviously, right? Do you see it often as a problem?
Well, I haven't been doing that much coaching the last few years. Okay, but I've done so much. The fact that it's become a little more mainstream now, I've been coaching this stuff for a while, but I don't have much experience that I can recall with people, say, overthinking their mental stuff to where it's a problem. But I could certainly see how that could happen. And that happens in a lot of areas, I think, where you can overthink it, and then then you lose touch with just the natural flow of things. I mean, that can happen with betting strategy. One of the questions I think coming up is about that, because everybody, standard theory says I should do this, but my instinct says I should do this. Which one should you do? Get a little bit ahead of ourselves there, but yeah, I don't have direct experience with what you're saying with people overthinking the thinking part of their problem, but I could certainly see how that would happen.
Yeah. Okay. Got you.